Hey guys, don't mind me. I'm just watching some TV, and can you believe the crap commercials they show nowadays?
I told you what would happen if you didn't get the
Sorry,
money.
Sal, my family's starving. No! Stop it, oh God!
You never steal from me. Hey, Sassy Sal here, and are you looking for a snack to satisfy your disgusting, deplorable taste buds? Well, look no further than Sassy Sal's saltine crackers with all the science mumbo-jumbo you all care about for some reason, with all the sodium you need. Too much. So much that you don't need any other foods. You could survive off of this. It's made with 100% toxic waste and maybe people. So come on down and get yourself a box of Sassy Sal saltine crackers. Don't try to sue me. It won't work. I'm magic.
Oh my god, that was terrible! I hate Sassy Sal. I don't know what was worse, his commercial or his crackers. Yeah, definitely the crackers. Hey, speaking of commercials, let's talk about Space Jam. So you're probably wondering, what do commercials and Space Jam have to do with each other? Like how do those things connect? I don't know why I did that voice. I'm sorry, that was terrible, but like, how do those things connect? You're probably wondering. Well, here's the thing. Believe it or not, Space Jam is based on a commercial. I'm not joking, it absolutely is. Back in the 90s, there were these Michael Jordan commercials where they, Nike commercials, where Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny played basketball, and in one of them, they played basketball against Marvin the Martian and some other aliens, and those were the main inspiration for Space Jam, mainly the Marvin the Martian one. I am not joking. I'm assuming some big movie studio executive or whatever had to look at those commercials, these Nike commercials, advertisements to sell shoes, and say, you know what? This should be on the big screen. I'm not joking. Like, really, that still bonkers me. Like, I know there's movies nowadays with a lot of product placements in them, and there's like even some movies based on specific products, but like, I've never even heard, once in my life, a movie based on a specific commercial. Maybe there's another example of it, but I can't think of any. The only example I can think of is Space Jam. That's just bonkers to me. But I mean, I guess it all turned out well, because when this movie came out, it was a huge success. Not critically though, no, critics hated this movie. They called it dumb and stupid, and you know who else hated it? Chuck Jones. Who's Chuck Jones, you ask? No one special, he's just a famous animator who animated many, if not most, of the best original Looney Tunes cartoons ever. So no one special. But yeah, critically this movie was really hated, but it made a lot of money, and really, is there anything more important than that? Now that leads us to the present, where nowadays you do hear a lot more people speaking like fondly of the movie, like looking back on it and going like, wow, I love that movie as a kid, stuff like that, and them nostalgic memories. And I can relate to that a little bit. I too watched this movie as a kid, not when it came out back in the 90s. No, I wasn't even a fetus yet, but I did watch it a lot, like on DVD, and whenever it showed up like on Cartoon Network. I just really loved this movie, and to be honest, it might have been my first introduction to the Looney Tunes. I think this might have been, honestly. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't really remember much. But yeah, I think this might have been my first introduction. And yeah, I loved it as a kid. But looking back on it, rewatching it, I realized something. This movie is very stupid. Like, first things first, I love the Looney Tunes. I honestly adore them so much. They are some of my favorite cartoon characters of all time. I think a lot of people consider them to be the greatest cartoon characters of all time. They're just so great. I love them. And you know what's so great about them is their defining characters and personalities. Like, everybody can tell the personality of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Tweety, Porky Pig, Sylvester, just all these incredible characters. And what's so cool about them is that these characters work in almost any situation you put them in. That's how a lot of the best original cartoons work. You're just putting them in specific situations with, like, sometimes different character matchups, and they just worked off well with each other and the situation they were in. And that's what made them so incredible and why a lot of people love them. But the thing is, I don't know who came up with this specific situation to put the Looney Tunes in. And I'm talking about the plot of this movie, because the plot of this movie is incredibly bonkers. Like, okay, so we got this big alien, voiced by Danny DeVito, who owns this amusement park in space called Moron Mountain. And the thing is, everyone hates it. They hate going to Moron Mountain. So you know what they need? They need the Looney Tunes as attractions there. So he sends these little aliens to the planet Earth to find the Looney Tunes, and the little aliens get there, and they go like, hey, you gotta come with us, and the Looney Tunes are all like, no, we don't really want to, but then they're like, yeah, but we got lasers, we're gonna shoot you, and the Looney Tunes are, oh, fine, we'll go, but first, we gotta defend ourselves. We're gonna play a game of basketball against you. So then the little aliens decide to steal the talents of other basketball players, and then they become big and huge. And so the Looney Tunes then need help. So they enlist the help of Michael Jordan. And do you hear all this? This is so bug. It is honestly insane. Like, I kind of wonder, how did they come up with this? Like, how? And that's just scratching the surface of things that don't make sense with this. There's a lot of things in this movie that do not make sense. Like, first of all, where is the Looney Tunes world? I know it's on Earth, but whenever when Michael Jordan first got to the Looney Tunes world, he went through a golf hole. So that means he had to go underground. Does that mean the Looney Tunes live like in the center of the Earth? Do they live underground? Are they mole people? Are they mole people? Or is it like something like he went through, like maybe there's like a little port or something, so like it sent him to like a different universe or something? But then again, it's like, what's going on here? And so where? It just makes no sense when I'm saying it out loud. And also, are you really telling me the Looney Tunes couldn't outsmart these aliens? Like, come on, they're the Looney Tunes. Like, Bugs Bunny could easily outsmart them. He outsmarted people like Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam. I actually think these aliens are lamer than those two. And don't give me the excuse that, like, well, they have the lasers. The Looney Tunes, they can survive explosions and stuff like that. They can survive anything. They could have easily outsmarted those aliens. Also, whenever any of the human characters see the Looney Tunes for the first time, their reaction is literally just, whoa, well, I guess Looney Tunes exists. Pretty cool. No, really, that's the reaction. They don't go like, what? And then, like, their brains freaking explode. No, they just go, okay, I guess I'm a little bit shocked, and then they just go unaccepted. It's like, what's going on? It's like, Looney Tunes. And also, like, are they just used to it? Because, like, there's a scene later on where, like, you see that the Looney Tunes are just cartoon characters, but, like, are they actors or something? But then they mention how they don't get paid for what they do, so, like, what's going, it makes no sense. And also, this movie has a subplot about Michael Jordan retiring from basketball and playing baseball for a bit. In real life, that did happen, and then after he left baseball, he went to go return to basketball, which also happens in this movie. So what I'm thinking is, I think this movie is a documentary. Yeah, this all of this movie, everything that happened in this movie happened in real life. The reason Michael Jordan returned to basketball was because of Looney Tunes. Yeah, true fact. Don't deny it. It is absolutely true. I could go on and on and on about a bunch of other things that don't make sense in the movie, but I probably should move on to some things. Like, let's talk about Michael Jordan, the star of the movie. Michael Jordan is an incredible basketball player, I'm assuming. I actually haven't seen any of his games or any basketball game ever. No, I haven't seen any basketball game ever. So I just assume Michael Jordan is an amazing basketball player because he's been in Space Jam, because all amazing basketball players have been in Space Jam. But yeah, he's a great basketball player, I'm assuming. But is he a good actor? No, no, he is not a good actor in this. He's very stilted, and he gives like almost no emotion to any of these scenes. And then again, like when he first sees Bugs Bunny, he literally goes, "Bugs Bunny, you're a cartoon character," or something like that. And it's like, it was the driest delivery ever. And I don't want to be too mean to Michael Jordan because, again, he's a basketball player. Maybe he wasn't used to acting, or like maybe it was the director. They could have directed him better or something. I don't know. I don't want to be too mean to him. But like, will it really matter if I'm too mean to Michael Jordan? He's like a billionaire or something, right? Like, I'm sure he's not gonna cry over some guy on the internet going like, "Man, Michael Jordan, your acting was really bad in Space Jam." I should probably move on to some actual positive stuff about the movie. Like, first, the soundtrack in this movie freaking slaps, honestly. Like, it shouldn't slap as much as it does, but it does. Like, I don't know who decided, like, hip-hop and, like, R&B and stuff like that should go in a Looney Tunes movie, but whoever that person is, I want to meet you. Like, I want to have lunch with you or something because I think you're my new hero. But, yeah, honestly, like, there are some banger songs in this. Like, "I Believe I Can Fly," or, of course, the classic, "Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam." Like, I know it's all, what I'm doing right now is cringy, but I don't care, man. I love that song so much. And yeah, the music in this movie is surprisingly really good. Another thing that's really good about this movie is the animation, specifically the 2D animation on the Looney Tunes. They look great. I'm a huge lover of 2D animation, and the Looney Tunes, they move great, they look great, it just looks great. There is one part of the animation that does not look great. It's when they actually play basketball. The court, or is that what it's called? The court where they play the basketball? I'm sorry, I don't know, but the court or whatever is all CGI, and as you can see, like, in the seats of, like, you know, where they play basketball, I'm sorry, each seat has to be filled with a Looney Tunes character, and you can definitely tell in that part they kind of copy and pasted a few characters, so you can see like some of the same characters again and again, and like the core or whatever is CG, and it does not look that hot. Like it definitely, the CGI definitely dated, and like again you can definitely tell like they cut some corners like to to save or like right to help with the animation, like when you see like the Looney Tunes in the seats and everything. And I'm sure at the time that was impressive, and even seeing the behind the scenes of the movie of how they did it was cool. Like it was interesting to see how they did it. I'm just saying it just does not look that great nowadays. But like I said before, the actual 2D animation of the Looney Tunes themselves look great. Even the monsters, the monsters are also really cool. And the voice acting. The voice actors in this movie are so good. Like I am a huge fan of voice actors, and I just want to give them the appreciation that they deserve. They are so great in this. You got some top tier voice actors in this, like Billy West, Bill Farmer, D. Bradley Baker, Bob Bergen, I believe is his name, Maurice LaMarche, Kat Susie, just so many incredible voice actors, and they do a really good job playing these iconic characters. And here's the thing, I'm not sure if you should probably know who this is. Mel Blanc. He is an incredible voice actor as well, and he was like the voice of the voices really of a majority of the Looney Tunes characters. Like if there's a Looney Tunes character that you love, most likely he was the original voice for it. Like he was like the original voice actor for almost all the Looney Tunes characters back in the original cartoons. But this movie came after his passing, so I think this might have been one of the first major Looney Tunes projects without his involvement. From the research that I've done, again, I'm not an expert on anything, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I do believe what I said is true, that this might have been one of the first major Looney Tunes projects without his involvement. And these new voice actors, the ones that I mentioned before, that they brought in were really good. They do a fantastic job. I actually think some of them still voice some of these characters to this day, or have voiced them in other projects. And yeah, honestly, really solid voice acting in this movie. And we gotta mention the thing. I think you know what I'm talking about. The main thing a lot of people remember Space Jam for, probably the thing that's most memorable for a lot of people in this movie. So Lola Bunny, she didn't exist before this movie. She was created for this movie. So this is the first appearance of Lola Bunny ever. And ever since then, Lola Bunny has been like almost like an icon for a certain. She's like an icon for furries, is what I'm saying. And no shame to furries. If you are a furry, live your life the way you want. I ain't judging you. But yeah, some people, definitely associate Lola Bunny with furries. And here's the thing. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. Don't make me look. I did have a crush on her when I was a kid, but really, it kind of meant nothing. I had a bunch of cartoon crushes when I was a kid, and to be honest, I think Lola was probably the only animal one. Well, there was also her and Minerva Mink from Animaniacs. Okay, I am not making myself look good, but the point is, I did have a crush on her, but obviously not anymore. And here's the thing, you did too. Admit it. Most likely, you had a crush on her too. Don't lie about it. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about her actual character in this movie. Lola Bunny, like this is her first appearance, so does she make a good first impression? Not really though, no. I mean, she doesn't really have like what's the word? A personality? Like, I mean, she's good at basketball. She's definitely probably as good as Michael Jordan, maybe even better. But yeah, she's good at basketball. She doesn't like to be called doll. That's kind of it. She doesn't really have much to her. It's like she's not a terrible character. She's just not a very interesting one, especially since she's near a bunch of interesting characters, that being the Looney Tunes. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like, oh wow, you're really not interesting at all. So it's definitely kind of stands out when you got all of these iconic characters and you see like, oh yeah, you're kind of bored. But yeah, she's not that interesting in here. Kat Susie does do a really good job playing her in this. Like, she's a fantastic voice actress, so of course she does a good job playing Lola. But even her, she couldn't save what ends up being technically a boring character that's like doesn't want to be like sexualized, but in reality, it's like that's all she's there for, to be sexualized. But I guess some good things did come out of this, because Lola Bunny was used in later Looney Tunes projects. Specifically, she was used in the Looney Tunes show, and honestly, I love her depiction in that show. She is so hilarious. They did change her a lot, but I'm honestly okay with that, because the way they changed her was really awesome, and I just really love her character in that show. Like, she's probably one of my favorite characters in the Looney Tunes show. But yeah, so I guess some good did come out of that. But Lola Bunny, yeah, she definitely started something. She made a lot of people look at her and go, this better not awaken anything in me. So in conclusion, Space Jam is really stupid, honestly. It is incredibly dumb. There's a lot of things that make no sense. Michael Jordan is a really bad actor, and yes, there is some really good 2D animation, some great voice acting, a killer soundtrack, but the CG is really dated. And something that I forgot to mention, this movie definitely feels like a product of its time, not just because it is technically a product, it was based on a commercial, but like, it definitely feels like it came straight out of the 90s, honestly. It definitely feels like a total 90s movie, a definite product of its time. And another thing about the movie is that this movie is based on a commercial, so most likely that's already ridiculous. But this movie has to get commercials to advertise the movie. So like, there's commercials for a commercial for a commercial. It's like an advertiser's wet dream. It's like their fantasy. It's just incredible. I can't believe it. And like, you see this, it's all bonkers. That's kind of why I like the movie, honestly. You see me smiling while explaining about it because I'm having fun talking about it, and I had fun watching it. Maybe some of it was nostalgic memories, maybe like 2%, but in reality, I think a lot of it was, once I went along with the stupidity and silliness of the movie, I had a good time, honestly. And I think another reason I really like this movie is that it feels like a movie that won't get made again today. Like I said before, like there's movies based on specific products and movies that like have product placements in them, but what about a movie that's actually based on a specific commercial? Like this, it's like all that stuff that I mentioned. No, I don't think you'll see that again. I know there's Space Jam 2, but that's not based on a commercial. That's based on this movie. It's a sequel to that, and like there is a lot of stuff I can say about Space Jam 2, but not right now. I'm talking about the first Space Jam right now. But yeah, it feels like something that we probably won't ever get again. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime movie, I guess. And honestly, that's why I like it. So yeah, Space Jam is really dumb. That's kind of why I like it. It's fun. You know something though? I kind of wish I was there in the writer's room when they were coming up with the plot for Space Jam. Like, I don't know what my biggest question is. How do they come up with this bonkers plot? Oh, why the hell do I keep eating these crackers?